Good afternoon. I'm Anne Marie Tiernan. We are briefly interrupting programming to bring you the latest on some breaking news. Here in Indianapolis, 2 IMPD officers were involved in an incident around 12:40 today. Those 2 officers were struck, taken to Eskenazi Hospital, and that's where we find the police chief and Indianapolis Mayor Joe Hogsett about ready to address the media. Let's go to the mayor right now.
2 officers woke up, they put on their uniforms, and they said goodbye to their families. Then they got in their cars and prepared to do whatever is necessary to keep our city safe. Just hours later, that resolve and commitment were put to the ultimate test, as these 2 heroes took fire in the course of their daily duties of protecting and serving the city of Indianapolis. I visited with these 2 officers a short time ago. They deserve our praise, our prayers, and I hope Indianapolis will wrap their families and the IMPD family as a whole in their arms this evening. How many of us woke up this morning and paused to appreciate that there are men and women across this city who went to work today willing to lay down their lives for the common good? Far too few, I suspect. While these 2 officers deserve admiration for what they did today, I want to stress that each and every officer within IMPD does the same thing every single day. They make the choice when they are entering training. They pledge it when they are sworn in. And they choose that risk every single day they go to work. This incident has highlighted that commitment all too clearly. Today, Chief Taylor and I, along with the chief of the city of Lawrence, stand with these 2 officers and with the entire Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department. But frankly, it isn't enough to simply say we support them. These 2 heroes did not wake up today and talk about keeping us safe. And we cannot be content to walk away today talking about keeping them and their brothers and sisters safe. That's because today, and far too many days, there are others who wake up in Indianapolis and they too make a choice. They make a choice to illegally arm themselves in the name of violence. They make a choice to illegally arm others in furtherance of violence. A choice to embrace the toxic recipe of fleeting hope and surging gun supplies, and turn away from the laws of basic humanity and this city. Well, I have a message this afternoon for those people too. Just a few moments ago, I was on the phone to the United States Attorney, Zachary Myers. In that call, I asked him for the full support of the Department of Justice, of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms in looking at this and other recent cases in Indianapolis. In doing so, I pledge the full participation of IMPD in these efforts. And while we don't have additional details on today's incident, I can say in general that we have seen time and time again criminal activity targeting innocent residents and other law enforcement agencies where the perpetrator is a convicted felon with no legal right to possess a firearm. In those instances, and if the facts bear out today in a similar manner in this instance, I want those people to know that we are coming for them and that we aren't stopping there. If you are a person that woke up this morning and made the choice to illegally supply these weapons to convicted felons in our community, Well, we're coming for you too. And we aren't stopping there. I may not have the ability to shut off the faucet of guns that pour into Indianapolis, but I'll be damned if we aren't going to do everything we can to identify, to arrest, and to punish those participating in this illicit marketplace of death, and encouraging federal charges wherever appropriate. It is my hope that these individuals, these worst of the worst offenders, will be removed from our streets, short-circuiting the cycle of violence that has gripped our nation in recent years. Our city, and I mean everyone, from elected officials to our corporate community to our neighborhood leaders, our entire city must commit itself to stopping the mindless menace of gun violence and the proliferation of peace in our neighborhoods. Today, these two heroes did their part. Now it's our time to do what we can do to honor their actions with actions of our own. Chief Taylor.
Thank you, sir. I don't know that I'm completely sure of what I'm going to say here today. I will tell you the good news is we have 2 officers here that are in stable condition, and I believe will make a full recovery. And we want to give our thanks to the men and women of Eskenazi who sprang into action to provide for our officers who were brought here. When I get these calls, when I get the page that says we've had an officer-involved shooting, my heart sinks because I don't know what's coming next. I don't know if we have an officer who has been severely injured or killed. But this happens far too often, to be quite honest. Actually, it happens far too often when I get those pages and it's about a citizen in our community. But in this case, I'm glad that our officer is going to make it. It's unfortunate that someone chose to fire rounds at our officers and has lost their life in that process. But as a community, I echo what the mayor says. We have 2 heroes that are still here at the hospital that met gunfire from what is believed to be a high-powered rifle and still ran towards the danger. Who does that? I'll tell you, my officers do that. And not just these 2, but every IMPD officer that's out there trying to protect is willing to do those same things. They are incredible, and we are certainly a community that is grateful to have them and their willingness to do that. But somewhere this has got to stop. We're in for the fight. My officers have shown they'll do whatever it takes to deal with people that would commit violence in this community to protect themselves and especially to protect the community. And that's what I asked them to do. But as a community, we've got to hate this. We don't know who the next victim is going to be. We have got to find ways to put an end to this. For all those who are out there, all those who would commit violence, we're coming for you. We'll find you. And we'll deal with you. We would much rather you put down those weapons and talk, surrender, whatever you have to do. But please, please don't compound the problem by firing at our officers. I spoke to the officers and to their families. Incredible people with great attitudes after such a tragic event. And I believe they'll be back out on the street in short order. I'm glad they exist. I'm glad our officers exist. I pray for this community every day, to be quite honest. I told the mayor I prayed just this morning for our officers' safety and for the wisdom in how they conduct themselves. The violence occurred, but our officers did the right things, and I appreciate them. Now, as a community, I ask that you continue to pray for them and their families and all the officers for that matter. But let's be about the purpose. Let's show what we can do as a city to end the violence. I hate to think of things as one side against the other, but I guess it's always been good versus evil. Let's make sure the good guys win. Thank you.
I'm Gary Woodruff. I'm the Chief with Lawrence Police. Just wanted to reiterate and add to what Chief Taylor and Mayor Hogshead have said on behalf of all of the men and women at the Lawrence Police Department. We stand with our colleagues at IMPD. Our thoughts and prayers remain with the 2 injured IMPD officers, and we echo their thoughts on that. I know many have questions about the genesis of this investigation. Keep in mind, this is very much an active, ongoing investigation. We're limited to what we can disclose at this point. This did start as a firearms investigation with the City of Lawrence Police Department. Our detectives were working with the Indiana Crime Guns Task Force in investigating that incident, or those incidents, and more investigative detail will follow over the days and weeks to come as the investigative details emerge. But at this point, I can confirm that, and it's my understanding we're not taking any questions at this point. But again, our thoughts remain with the IMPD officers, and glad in the overall that they're going to be okay. Thank you.
And so there you heard it, IMPD Chief Randy Taylor calling the 2 officers involved in this shooting today heroes, saying that he spoke with their families and those officers just a little bit ago, that they had great attitudes and that he hoped that they would be back out on the street in short order. Chief Taylor, when he first approached the podium, saying, he just really didn't know what to say in a moment like this. He said when he gets that page hearing that an officer has been shot, his heart sinks because he doesn't know what is coming. And he says often he gets pages about citizens being shot. And he talked about how unfortunate it was that someone made a choice. He called it a citizen making a choice to shoot at IMPD officers today and losing their life. Shooting with a high-powered rifle, the chief said. And he said those officers faced that gunfire and they still ran towards that danger anyway. And he asked in his statement, who does that? And he said the answer is the officers of IMPD. But he said, somewhere this has to stop, but that IMPD is in for the fight to protect the community and protect citizens. The chief said, he had a message for folks who would do this in our community. He said, look, we're coming for you, we'll find you, and we will deal with you. But again, expressing relief that these 2 officers are going to be okay tonight. Ann?
Yeah, certainly. Emily Longneck reporting live for us today. So we heard there from the mayor saying that the officers are going to make it. He asked for praise. They said they deserve praise and prayers. And we heard the Indianapolis police chief talking about this fight between good and evil in our community. Also hearing from the police chief in Lawrence, Gary Woodruff. And that is where the case emanates from. We don't know a lot of details about that. We are working to find more information. But the bottom line right now, one suspect fatally shot today, a 46-year-old man. 4 officers involved. 2 IMPD officers were injured. They were taken to the hospital. We're told they're going to be okay. And we're working to find more information about what set off this case and the impact for our community. We will bring you the very latest developments here on 13 News tonight at 5. Also, all the information that we're gathering, we are updating continuously for you right now online. If you go to WTHR.com and also the 13 News app. For now, I'm Anne Marie Tiernan. I'll be back with Scott Swan for you at 5.